Hello everyone, welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Chade Arena. Everyone watching this video probably has some sort of brand loyalty. Stuff like you only wear certain designer clothes, or some people refuse to use computer products that aren't Apple, even though they do things like release a stand that's $1,000 for your monitor. Ridiculous. You could literally buy 2 PlayStation 4 God of War bundles and have some change left over to get Five Guys. But today we're going to shine a light on some of the darker sides of brands you hold so dear to your heart. So put your wallet away for today's list of top 10 scary secrets big companies don't want you to know. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also, check out Most Amazing Top 10 on Facebook and Instagram. There's loads of extra content on there, and it's a great way to get to know myself and the other hosts a lot better. And without taking any longer, let's get into it. Number 10. Nintendo Sex Hotels. Wait, what? This can't be true. I mean, Nintendo's all about child-friendly good times. I mean, they made their mascot a hard-working family man with a 9-to-5 plumbing job. They publish all sorts of Pokemon games, and Pikachu is one of the most wholesome creatures I've ever seen. He looks like the cutest rat in the world got mixed up with a spring morning. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, kids, but it's true. Back in the 1960s, Nintendo was a new company, and video games weren't even a thing yet. So they decided to try their hand at a stickier industry. At the time, Nintendo's president was Hiroshi Yamauchi, and he had the company build a few love hotels in Tokyo's red light district. These were hotels basically so you could bring a prostitute to them. I guess when you're in this situation, it's nice to go somewhere where it's neutral for everyone so everybody's comfortable. But don't worry guys, you don't have to feel weird about buying the next Breath of the Wild sequel. Nintendo is no longer working in love hotels. Although love hotels are still very popular in Japan. I'm sure if they got back into the market, a lot of people would check it out. You could have a Mario Kart themed room where you bang a girl on a go-kart while a guy in an ape costume throws banana peels at you. Hot. Number 9. DuPont Chemicals. Wow, here's a classic one. A giant company starts using chemicals they know are bad to make more money. It happens so often it's almost hack. Like if you're a major company, maybe you should try something original like building a death ray or start experimenting on innocent people. You know, something interesting. Well, DuPont was once the world's largest producer of the non-stick material Teflon. I'm sure Nintendo could find a way to make it stick, but Well, in the 1950s, they purchased a chemical called perfluorooctanic acid. I probably said that wrong. This stuff helped speed up the production, and therefore DuPont made more money. What DuPont neglected to tell the public is that the chemical is extremely toxic. It causes cancer in animals, and it was causing birth defects in their employees' unborn babies. And this chemical contaminated the water supply of 12,000 people. It wasn't until 2015 that DuPont was ordered to remove the hard-to-pronounce toxic chemical from their products. And there are currently over 3,000 court cases waiting to be processed against DuPont. Number 8. Listerine swindled us all. Just in case you're wondering where bad breath comes from, it comes from putting garbage into your body and not from lack of Listerine. I've got the proof. Listerine has been around since 1880. Back then it didn't have an edge. You could use it to disinfect, but the product's creator Jordan Week Lambert wanted to get the stuff moving a little bit better. So he made up a sickness. He invented halitosis out of thin air. He got it published in the newspaper and it became a real thing. And then dumb middle class people started buying boatloads of it just because they thought if they didn't, they would end up being the stinky friend. Now it's a household product. It literally does nothing. Just eat healthy, floss, and brush your goddamn teeth. Number 7. IKEA used slaves. Just make it stop. I think we should do a top 10 list of companies that are actually nice and don't try to ruin everyone's lives. That way we could have an idea of what products we're supposed to buy. I feel like if I keep digging into this long enough, I'm gonna find out that my local farmer's market kills kittens for fun. Well, IKEA used slaves, guys, but like a really long time ago, right? Nope, it was in the 1970s. These slaves were mostly Germans captured by the Russians while they were trying to escape East Berlin, and protesters of the Berlin Wall. IKEA made some deal with the Russian government about taking this slave labor as long as they stayed hush-hush about where it was coming from. Well, now none of you can afford to buy furniture. You're welcome. Number 6. Volkswagen Nazi affiliation. So this is a stain on their company that's even bigger than that whole scandal where they were deliberately making cars that pollute more? In 1938, it was Hitler who made a push to make a more affordable economic car, which ended up being known as the world's most sold car, the Volkswagen Bug. Who knew the cutest car in the world would have been spearheaded by the guy who everyone remembers as the worst human in history? But wait, there's more! During the war, the newly founded Volkswagen didn't make cars, but they made weapons for the Nazis. Oh my god! Now that's gotta be all, right? No wait, there's even more! Also during the war, Volkswagen was taking slave labor from the Nazi concentration camps. 80% of the work being done in the factories during this time was done by slave labor. I think I'm gonna get a Toyota. Number 5. IBM and the Holocaust. Another major company that has ties to the Nazis? Well, things can't be true. If you don't believe me, there's a book about it. In 2001, there was a book released by historian Edwin Black titled IBM and the Holocaust. It went into detail about how certain IBM systems were used to help the Nazis in Germany, mainly the IBM Hollerith machine. This machine was used as a punch card system to track large numbers of Jewish people moving through Germany. This would make them much easier to capture. Then once they were captured, you know those horrible number tattoos that concentration camp survivors would get? Well, those were the serial numbers from the Hollerith machine, and they were put on Jewish prisoners so they could more easily coordinate how to kill them. And you could say that IBM had no idea what was going on here, but the president of IBM met with Hitler. IBM basically made a system so Nazi Germany could more easily kill Jewish people. It's horrible. Number 4. Nike uses sweatshops, just when you think it can't get any worse. By the end of this video, you're not going to be able to buy anything without feeling a deep sense of regret, like after you eat a burrito with ghost chili sauce on it, and you remember it has to come out the other end. Well, let's add Nike to the list of giant horrible companies. They've been using sweatshops to make all the products since its inception. Even worse, people were calling them out on this and they were denying it until it was publicly unveiled in 1992, and then on top of that, they were paying their employees as little as 14 cents a day. I know people with enough Nike products that would pay for 3 generations of lifetime salaries. This is horrible. And if that wasn't enough, Nike got their slogan from Murderer, who was in the electric chair, and when they asked him if he had any last words, he said, "Let's do it." And they changed it just a little bit. Number 3. Nestle powdered milk. Okay, buckle up folks, because I'm about to ruin chocolate for you. This is one of the worst things I've ever read about. Back in the 70s, the World Health Organization blew the doors off of Nestle, showing that they had been poisoning and manipulating impoverished mothers in Asia, Africa, and Central America. What they would do is they would send out people dressed up as nurses to give out free samples of powdered milk to breastfeeding or pregnant mothers. The people were dressed as nurses to trick the mothers into thinking that the powdered milk had some sort of health benefits, and then after ingesting this powdered milk, it would cause the mothers to stop lactating. Nestle then stopped giving it out for free, forcing these poor mothers who were just trying to keep their babies alive to buy this crap powdered milk, most of which who couldn't afford it. Also, the mortality rates among the Nestle provided milk fed babies is 5 times higher. Number 2. Monsanto does a lot more than GMOs. Everyone watching probably knows about Monsanto because they manufacture GMO crops, but we're not even going into that. Let's start with how Monsanto created Agent Orange, which is what the US military used in the Vietnam War to destroy the vegetation and ended up giving millions of people diseases and devastating the country for years. They've also made seeds that don't produce more seeds. So you know when you have a watermelon and there's seeds in it? Well, Monsanto wants that to stop. So every year you want to grow watermelons, you have to go buy more seeds from them. Sounds like the best way to start a famine. Also, they're protected by the US government, so they can never be liable for any harm to the environment or people. Cool beans. Number 1. Chiquita is crazy. If you don't know Chiquita, they're a fruit company. I want to say this again because I'm about to state the wildest crap a fruit company has ever done. Chiquita is a fruit company. In 1928, they were still known as the United Fruit Company, and over 3,000 of their workers were killed because they were illegally taking bananas from Colombian land. But the workers didn't know that this was illegal. They just went in and got massacred. It was called the Banana Massacre. Then, in the 60s, they worked with the CIA to get a dictator in power in Guatemala to start a civil war so they could buy up Guatemalan land. A civil war that lasted 36 years. Again, This is a fruit company. They sell mangoes. They're working with the CIA. There was even a United Fruit Company president who killed himself because he couldn't deal with the guilt. And as recent as 2004, the now Chiquita was fined $25 million for tax evasion. No, I'm just kidding. It wasn't tax evasion. They were funding terrorist groups in Colombia. This is a goddamn fruit company. Please chill out. Oh my god, I'm so happy this list is over. This took a toll on my soul. Oh, from now on, I'm only gonna shop at thrift stores. Well, I already do that, but I'm going to continue to do that. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. As always, make sure you check out Most Amazing Top 10 on Facebook and Instagram and all these other social media features. There's a bunch more content on there, and you can get to know myself and the other Most Amazing Top 10 hosts a little bit better. Until next time, I've been Che Durena, and I'm gonna go cry in a corner till my lunch break.